Should I call you Mr. Venters, Pete?
God no, Pete is fine.
How long have you been an artist with Wizards?
Since October 93, so I just passed the 25-year mark. I ran into Jesper Miraforce completely by accident. I was trying to talk to Richard Thomas, who was the art director for White Wolf. So when I showed Richard the artwork that I was carrying with me, I also ended up showing Jesper. White Wolf never got back to me. During the time that I worked at Wizards, I had just this laundry list of tasks under one job, and that one job was essentially working as continuity. And we took the stories that had existed and tried to make them work as a whole. We built the globe of Dominaria. I led the card naming team, the flavor text team. Yeah, those were long meetings. I wrote every single art description for every single Magic card, from Alliances to Urza's Saga, inclusive, except for Unglued, which didn't need continuity, and Portal 3 Kingdoms, which was completely done out of house. I think R&D worked on it.
What's your favorite set?
Mirrodin. Actually, the whole block. The reason that Mirrodin is my favorite is because it's actually my best body of work in a single block. And it's funny because when they first told me about Mirrodin, and I was like, you're introducing a little hint of sci-fi into Magic? Oh god, this can't be good. But finally got to see the style guide, and it gave me a really strong understanding of the world and how it all worked, and it gave that lens a certain level of confidence. There was me with Mirrodin thinking it wasn't going to be much fun, and yeah, universally my best work, like, you know, Megatog, Tangle Walker, Wrench Mind, just good times. Well, I certainly didn't think I'd be here 25 years later, because nobody thought the game would last 25 years. I remember being at San Diego Comic-Con in '94 and got into a conversation with a couple of executives from another comic company who were talking about the game, and they thought it would last maybe 3 years. And I was the dissenting voice and said I figured it had good 10 years. And I actually, I wouldn't say got mocked, but I got given the look, right? I got given the, oh, you're crazy.
If only they knew, right?
They had no clue. I mean, and also a lot of the companies that tried to make their versions of Magic had no clue. Because one of the things that they kept looking at was the collectability, but they never stopped to think about how watertight those rules needed to be, right? And so a lot of games failed because essentially the game just fell apart. The second thing that really kept the game going was actually the tournament scene. When they first introduced the Pro Tour and everything, it was kind of like, you're doing what? It took off. I mean, honestly, when it comes right down to it, the number one reason that Magic is still around is people can find other people to play with. It's what killed almost every other CCG. If you can't find someone to play against, you ain't gonna play.
One thing that was mentioned a lot was that artwork is what got them into the game. How do you feel about that as a long-standing artist in the community?
It's awesome. I mean, it is. I mean, as any kind of creative, you want your work to have an influence, or at least an impact, right? There's nothing worse than getting no response. With the specifics of Magic, yeah, I do. I get a lot of people who like come up to me and it's like, this is the first rare I ever got. Of course, they also say they were like 5 at the time, and I'm like, yeah, passage of time. Being an influence, whether it's just an influence in their artistic tastes or what brought them into the game, it's awesome. That is awesome. It's interesting as well because they also talk about the variety of art. And this is a thing that I get asked, and I'm going to say it. I think that whilst the art of this era of Magic is actually technically brilliant and is actually the best artwork that Magic's ever had, and each individual painting is like a book cover, I just don't think they work on the cards. You spread out those cards and they all kind of look the same, and that's because Magic brand wants a very similar look because that's how they want to be able to package and sell the game. You know, Wizards should rethink this because it's not just my art. You know, I'd rather they just rethink it in general. But I think it's selling their player base short to think that the player base needs a unified look to the art for it to be a successful game. No, it started and became massive because it had a breadth of art. No matter what your taste in art were, there was something there for you. There's no question about it. There were bad artists, there were good artists. But you know what? They came from all walks of life and they created this massive variety of art. And there was always something that someone loved. And I think these days, no matter how technically proficient they are and how exceptional, exquisite some of these paintings are, you still end up with a much narrower band of people's tastes for art. Don't sell the player base short, give them some breadth. Hell, use Masterpiece series to show stuff off that doesn't belong in the core look. I wish they'd done that with Dominaria. 25th anniversary, they could have done a Masterpiece series and used the original artists on those masterpieces. That would have been awesome. And I know that they were kind of a little worried about Masterpiece stuff at the time. I just think about how cool a Masterpiece series with the old artists would have been. It wouldn't have inflicted itself on the core set. It would have been an amazing collectible, an amazing way to say here's 25 years of history, and it would have given a little something back to the original artists. Because let's be frank, artist proofs of Masterpiece series do not sell cheaply. Hey, we all have to pay our bills, but the fact is, it would have been cool. It would have been damn cool.